Alright guys, we're going to start by watching a video here, and this one is going to be a video by Meta Goblin. Based on what I can see on the thumbnail and the title, let me bring you guys over. So we have this video right here. It is called Classic Plus Just Went Insane, Warcraft Reborn Overview. This changes everything, Azeroth Reborn. So this obviously is about Azeroth Reborn, Bronzebeard, whatever you want to call it. It's the Ascension Classic Plus server that came out very recently, and we're gonna see what Meta Goblin has to say. I will say, by the way, I was in his stream lurking on launch day as well, just looking at what he was doing and how he was playing the game, and to be fair, it looks kinda cool. I have not played this myself, but it looks really cool, and I will say, I'm seeing way more streamers and stuff talk about this than Turtle WoW, and I wonder why.
As you can see,
Either
this
way,
server
let's
doesn't just add
talk.
content, it reinvents vanilla. It goes way beyond Season of Discovery by a country mile.
Starting with a cheeky little hook there, okay, nice. I will say, by the way, I love this introduction he has.
In the last few weeks, it looked like the Classic Plus scene was doomed. Blizzard's lawsuit hammer seemed like it was going to crush everything, but instead, the private server community has struck back with a vengeance. There are so many content updates right now for all the servers that I can barely keep track.
To be fair though, all of those servers were already planned way ahead of any lawsuits, so this had nothing to do with any suits, by the way. At all. This has all been in the works for a long time, but even after the suit as well, Turtle is still making updates. They're working on like patch 1.18 or something now, the whole Ursol thing. So even they are like, fuck the lawsuit, bro. We're just gonna keep pumping.
And very soon, a brand new, unique Classic Plus server is launching.
Ooh.
Let's start with that new server. It's called Warcraft Reborn, and it's from the Ascension team. And it actually goes live tomorrow, on Friday, 3rd of October. And I'll be streaming it, by the way, so stay tuned for that. I'll be streaming it here on YouTube and on Twitch. My recommendation is to follow me on Instagram if you want to know exactly when I go live.
He's been doing a massive Instagram push recently, hasn't he? By the way, there's a good chance if you're watching this as a reaction, by the way, and that's on the second channel for me as well, so if you haven't subscribed yet, would mean the absolute world to me if you do. The sub button is down below, like under my face and on the other side.
So what if you could replay vanilla with fresh mechanics, improved systems, new content, more freedom, and deeper RPG-focused gameplay? Well, that's exactly what Warcraft Reborn is aiming to deliver. I want to start with the feature that I'm most excited about. You know how there's like tons of mobs in World of Warcraft with awesome looking armor sets or tabards?
Yeah, the immersive item drops, yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, sometimes like the Scarlet Crusade set, you could get those items, but usually the drop rates were painfully low, and by the time you finally got the gear, you had already, out-leveled it. Well, Reborn changes all of that. Now mobs will actually drop the gear they're wearing. It's going to make the game? Jesus Christ. It's going to make the game feel much closer to an RPG like Skyrim, where loot is contextually tied.
My question about that is, will this, because I haven't played, right, and I haven't been deep diving into it either, so anybody who has played or has more information than I have, please let me know in the comments down below as well. But this type of gear, if I kill a Scarlet mob at level 30, does it drop level 30 gear? And likewise, if I'm level 60, will it be level 60 gear? Or will I have to use like a transmogrification to get the items? Because like I know there's a transmog system on this server to a certain degree. Don't know much about it, but I do know this like transmog-ish type of thing. But can I get the gear to be like good for me? Like can I get level 60 Crusader gear and the level 30 Crusader gear? Or can the items I get at level 30 be upgraded to also be valuable at level 60?
To the enemies you're fighting. On top of that, they've added new unique drops, more tabars to collect. Leveling, looting, and progressing your character is about to get way more rewarding and fun and interesting. Oh, and a quick side note, guys, if you're prepping for the launch of TBC Classic or want a leveling guide that's going to give you a huge edge on day one, you have to check out Restic Speeds, made by the world record holding speed levelers for the game, and they've already made the most optimal pre-quest route mapped out so you can get ahead of the Dark Portal Zerg by just chilling in Azeroth and getting quests completed. It's also a great way to support me and the channel, so I really do appreciate it. The link is in the description. Now back to Reborn. Mobs have also been reworked to be way more unique and contextual. For example, a mob with a dagger.
I will say the feature that I am looking forward to most in Reborn, I mean, I'm probably not going to play, but the feature that I thought looked the most interesting was the whole world of forged items in the world thing, where you could quest and simply find a weapon in the ground that you click on, loot it, and that's going to be good for you. And some of those items, by the way, seemed absolutely insane, and those you could upgrade as well. So you could find like a ring that is good for you at level 40, and you could spend some sort of weird currency to upgrade it to level 50 and level 60. So like you could keep those World Forge items relevant for you pretty much all the time while you're leveling, or at max level as well. And to me, just, it sounds so cool. It's kind of like, I don't know, imagine you find a sword stuck in some sort of stone, and you either have to be a certain class, or you have to do a quest or something to pick up the sword, or simply finding the sword as well. It kind of even brings me back to Mist of Pandaria, looting those items, like not the archaeology items, but the regular bound on account items, on the floor. It's just like, there's something about it, right? That item being lootable in the world, it also makes you pay more attention to the surroundings while you're leveling. Instead of finding like a rested XP arrow and just following the arrow, it makes you want to explore this cave, that tree, those woods. It makes you want to explore more of the entire zone, meanwhile being observant of your surroundings to find those items in the open world.
Will have a faster attack speed than a mob with a two-hander, and a mob with a shield will block more often. Resistances and weaknesses to the elements are also more prominent, which rewards players for thinking strategically instead of just face rolling through fights and, other mobs being pretty standardized and basic and similar. Now, if you're wondering about class design, since every Classic Plus server has taken its own approach, Turtle WoW added new abilities and slightly reworked the vanilla talents. Epoch launched with TBC talents. Ascension, on the other hand, is launching with a refined version of the Wrath of the Lich King talents, plus a few extra abilities. That means meme specs will actually be viable, and you'll see iconic skills like Blaze Storm, Heroic Leap, Metamorphosis, and Invisibility becoming part of people's builds. Unique to Ascension is their Mystic enchantment system. It's kinda similar to Runes in Season of Discovery, but honestly it looks way better. And it expands class design even further. You have artifact enchants that give you utility upgrades, legendary enchants.
I personally feel like with all of these systems, by the way, to me it's a little bit much. But here's the thing, to each their own, right? To me, it's a little bit much, but to some people it's just perfect, because they can start customizing their class way more, you have some sort of ways to min-max, and it gives you a lot of options. To me, it's just like, part of the charm in Classic is that everything is kind of very easy to get into, and even Season of Discovery to me became too much eventually. There was just too many things, too many runes and too many, too many options, kind of. I don't know. I haven't played Ascension way back, by the way, and I really enjoyed it, but in this case it's getting a little bit much. I don't know.
Key DPS cooldowns and mastery enchants providing big passive boosts to your builds. Some of the abilities in Ascension are iconic, ones borrowed from later expansions, while others are totally unique to this server. The level of customization here is insane. Single enchants can completely change your build and playstyle. And just looking at it, I've already said that actually early on in the script, haven't I? But anyway, you'll find enchantments scattered across the open world, hidden like, how the treasures were in Walls of Draenor, or sometimes just dropping from mobs. The drops are actually contextual as well, which is another thing I'm seriously impressed by. For example, a Fire Mage themed mob will drop an enchantment that buffs a mage's fireball, and so on and so forth. We're also getting...
Are we really impressed by that though? I mean, it's cool. This is a cool feature, and I don't want to be that guy, because you're supposed to just hype everything up, but are we really impressed by that? Because all they had to do is put something on the loot table for a certain type of mob and make it make sense. Even Blizzard did the same thing as well, right? In Season of Discovery, you I don't know what it was it gave you, but I think it was either Living Bomb or some other fire spell was given to you by Geomancers using Fireball on you, and also the different mages in the world you killed gave you mage-like runes. So even in Seasonal Discovery did something along the same lines. Now I will say, by the way, anybody who has never played Ascension before, Season of Discovery's rune system was basically stolen from Ascension and their mystic enchantments. So us trying to give credit right now to Blizzard for Seasonal Discovery, Ascension did it first. Blizzard took inspiration from them. But I'm just saying, like, we shouldn't be impressed by those mystic enchantments dropping from a mage mob, because that is so simple. You could hire one intern working like a 1-day job, and he could make all of those runes drop from mobs that makes sense. Doesn't even have to be that. Ask AI which mobs makes sense and put it on their loot table. I can bet you one developer could do that in about 1 or 2 hours of actual work time. But hey, still, it's cool. I'm just not impressed by it, but it's cool.
Brand new class and race combinations, which is obviously very prominent on these servers. We've got Troll Druids, Human Hunters, Dwarf Shamans, Night Elf Mages, Tauren Paladins, Blood Elf Warriors, Orc Mages, Troll Warlocks, Gnome Priests, Dwarf Mages, Undead Hunters, and even Undead Paladins like there was on Epoch WoW, which is probably what I'm going to be playing. And yes, you can actually roll as a Blood Elf or a Draenei on this server. Probably not very lore-friendly. But anyway, for Endgame, they've really gone all out. Every vanilla dungeon now has a heroic and mythic mode. Raids have ascended difficulties, including heroic and mythic.
How do you feel about that, by the way? Anybody, like, in chat or in the comments as well? In Classic Plus, because, like, this is great for a private server, and I love what they're doing for themselves, but I'm trying to kind of pull ideas from here into Classic Plus. What do people feel like when it comes to doing heroic dungeons in Classic Plus, and even heroic raids? Because I've seen some split, like, opinions on this. I even saw part of Simon Ice's video on Classic Plus recently, where I believe he said that he does not want heroic dungeons or heroic raids, because it kind of like, if you can't do heroic raids, it shows you that you're not good enough to clear the raid, which can be a good sign. It can be a bad sign for casuals, but I feel like giving the people that want a challenge the ability to do the challenge in a meaningful way other than just speedrunning would be great as well. So for me, I'm super for heroic raiding in Classic WoW, because Season of Discovery, they did try to make some of the raids more difficult, and it just ended up with like literally nobody clearing it. Think about Sunken Temple, for example. The race to World First lasted for over a day or two. Has never happened in Classic WoW's history ever before. It was overtuned way worse than it should have been, and that just shows you, like, a lot of people like that, by the way. They like having a challenge. And to me, Molten Core should have been a challenge like that. You had Molten Core heat level 1, heat level 2, and heat level 3, and instead of needing fire resistance to do the heats should have just been like, you take more damage, the mobs do more damage, and they have more health. That way it kind of becomes heroic raiding. And the thing is, heroic raiding doesn't even have to give you better loot. It can just be a way to get more loot, for example, just like in Season of Discovery. So you do a raid on heroic level, the mobs are harder, the bosses are harder, they have more health, and you need to be better. And as a reward for that, you get 2 or 3 additional pieces of loot, helping your guild gear up faster.
Plus, there's raid trials, an entirely new endgame dungeons and raids, and by the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be Karazhan Crypts. Raiding is also like flex mode, meaning you can run them with between 10 to 25 players. And on top of that, all the dungeons are also going to have Mythic Plus modes with the fixes, just like they do in Retail WoW, which is probably one of the best things about Retail WoW, to be honest. There are plenty of new world bosses, open world events, dynamic content to keep the zones alive and populated. Now, let me finish off just rapid firing a few more features, because again, there is just so many. It's honestly crazy how far the private server scene has come and how streamlined these modern MMO features can get themselves into Classic WoW now.
Yeah.
We've got professions totally revamped, especially crafting ones where you can craft gear. Crafting ones, obviously all bloody professions are crafting, but what I'm trying to say here is the ones where you craft gear.
No, but they aren't, though. Not all are crafting, are they? Farming, herbalism, mining, skinning.
Like blacksmithing and stuff like that. The gear isn't going to suck like it did in vanilla, let's be honest. Like, a lot of the time it wasn't even a green piece.
Yeah, those armor kits, by the way, they are such a nice addition to the game itself, the upgrade kits, allowing you to upgrade the gear. It is just another way to keep professions relevant as well while you're leveling.
And obviously, the reason why it's going to be better is because you have a chance to roll random extra stat affixes onto the gear pieces.
Yeah.
You've got Warforged style gear that can be continuously upgraded. It's basically like heirlooms that you find in the open world. You've got Hero Kobolds, which are basically like daily world quests. They're actually adding Twin Peaks and Temple of Kot Mogu to the Battleground pool, which again...
I love the Twin Peaks, by the way, but I also absolutely hate Temple, so to me this is like a W and an L at the same time. But the thing is, I don't care, like, them adding Temple is not a bad thing, it's just, I don't like it. I don't like the BG, so you know what I'm gonna do? Not play it. But Twin Peaks, lovely.
It's a bit weird. But anyway, they're adding arenas with totally new maps, revamped PvP loot systems, a prestige leveling mode where you can basically go to level 1 again and get new rewards, and also loads of hardcore leveling trials. Not just the hardcore mode, but other modes. There's even this like really silly one where like you can only breathe in water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure what they were doing with that one. As you can see, this server doesn't just add content, it reinvents vanilla. It goes way beyond seasonal discovery by a country mile. Now, some of you may think it's going a bit too far, and that's probably fair to be honest, but honestly, if you're treating a server as some pure vanilla experience, you're probably missing the point. Warcraft Reborn is meant to be a bit of fun. It's taken the core essence of vanilla WoW, mixing in some theme park, retail features, and then layering...
Yeah, I'm so glad he said the retail features, by the way, because some of the class abilities that they're putting in is literally a retail ability. But I don't mind that. To me, that's great, because some of the retail abilities, even though classic Andes love to clown on retail, being like, way, retail bad, way. Meanwhile, they just like, literally anything that has to do with retail, they automatically ignore because, retail bad. But some of the abilities are actually kind of cool and kind of good as well. And I don't mind seeing those in Ascension here. But I was going to go somewhere with this. Yeah, I'm so glad he called it retail-like, because to me, well, like, some of the retail abilities, because to me, I don't want to call this Classic Plus. This is more of a retail remix of Classic WoW to me. That's what it feels like. Based on what I've seen, and the streamers that I've seen play it as well, it feels like a retail remix of Classic WoW. I'm just saying. No hate. I think that's great, by the way.
On the original Skyrim-inspired RPG systems that are going to make the world feel way more immersive. For me, that's the main draw. That's why I'm going to try out this server. Meanwhile, we also have Turtle WoW is, still standing tall despite the legal battles.
Yeah.
Instead of folding like Nestarius, they just instead announced their next patch is going into development, the Nightmares of Ursul. They've released this huge big demo for the Unreal 5 vanilla remaster, and honestly, it's looking pretty good. On top of that, the Ambershire server has just pushed into Phase 2 of Endgame with Molten Core, brand new world bosses, and rated arenas. It's painfully obvious now, guys, that Classic Plus just isn't going anywhere. It's now at the forefront of the Classic WoW community. You look at any YouTube video right now about Classic WoW, people don't give a monkeys about Mop Classic, really.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of streamers are even streaming this server right now. They don't care anymore. Because they just went like... A lot of those people, some of them did stream Turtle WoW, and some did not, because they were like, oh, Blizzard is going to announce something at any point now. And then they realize, Blizzard is probably not announcing anything until BlizzCon next year. So now they just stopped caring. It's like, this is how they're going to play the game and have fun for now, because like, they don't have any other option. The other options are playing Anniversary, which I personally really enjoy, by the way, or just finding anything else to play. I don't know, like, it seems like they have given up now, and they have finally caved in to just play this server instead. Because I saw on launch day 4 big YouTubers or Twitch streamers streaming this version of the game. And also, Saryu even reacted to the trailer about this as well. So like you see way more popular coverage of this server right now compared to what we have seen for private servers in a while.
Everyone is talking about Classic Plus. The trailers for these private servers get more views than the trailers for actual Classic WoW. It's getting that, bonkers right now.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most exciting times to be a Classic World of Warcraft fan, to be honest. I'll be real with you guys, I haven't really properly touched WoW since the launch of Fresh Classic, and even then I only made it level.
It is one of the it is one of the most exciting times to be a classic WoW fan, if you're a fan of private servers, or if you are not against them. For anybody who is only a classic WoW fan, like literally classic, and hates private servers, it's a bad time. I feel like it's a bad time at least. But in general, if you take a step back and look at it from a bird's eye view, it's a good time to either be just a regular WoW fan or a classic WoW fan right now. But you have to take a step back and look at it from like the broader perspective.
36 on my warrior. Part of that is because I've been focusing on other hobbies like working on my car and making a slight career change. Again, check out my Instagram if you want updates and all of that. But mostly it's because, as much as I love classic WoW, playing the same version of it over and over again just doesn't excite me anymore. A lot of us just, we want something new. And again, like, I went through a cycle of playing, vanilla TBC and RAF on private servers quite a lot before Classic even launched. So by now, the record's a bit... it needs to be changed. But this Classic Plus scene, it's different, and it's why it's pulled me back in, and I truly believe that if Blizzard did this themselves, millions of players would flock back to the game. But anyway, make sure to tune into my stream, guys. I'll be, like I said, I'll be live streaming the launch of the server. It's at 3 PM tomorrow UK time, which probably means 4 PM Central European time, and then, whatever 8 hours behind is for American time. And I'll be streaming it here on YouTube and on Twitch if you prefer to watch me on there. Everything's always in the description of all my videos. But anyway, guys, that's it for me now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. My name is Meta Goblins. In the next video, ciao.
Okay, that was a good video and a good overview of the server itself. I really enjoyed that, and once again I was lurking in his stream when he was streaming the launch as well, and it looked kind of fun. It did look popular, really popular. The starting zones, they were packed. I kind of want to say they were not exactly Turtle WoW packed, which, I mean, does make sense, because they were insane. But on the Bronzebeard as well, they were packed, yeah, like, you barely got any mob tags at all. But yeah, like, it was really cool to see, and the server itself does really intrigue me, and it's cool that they're taking a massively different approach to Classic Plus than Turtle or even Epoch to me. I feel like it's good to take a risk and having different options, because if every single private server was just a Turtle WoW, then why have multiple? We already have Turtle, and I like that they're doing something incredibly different here. Either way, good video and a good server.